time ago, I committed a sin. I was weak.
Thanks very much for speaking to me, first of all. I really enjoyed the film. I watched it again last night, and it's I love the way that it kind of spins the genre. I mean, that's what you did previously with the previous film, La Casa del Fin de los Tiempos, no? And that was kind of like a haunted house that suddenly went in completely opposite direction because it kind of added a kind of time glitch thing in there.
Machine,
yeah. So when you, I mean, this does kind of a similar thing in that it goes. It's obviously very much an unabashed homage to kind of exorcist movies, no? But at the same time, it throws all these different things that you don't expect to come at you. Is that how you approach the film when you start to write a film? Just to kind of, do you want to go for a specific subgenre and then just switch on your head, or is that something that comes about organically?
Yeah, I mean, in both films, basically the twist was the first idea that came to my mind. I really feel like twist creates like a mind impact, you know, like when you are mind blown because the story changed the rules and they did it in your face and you didn't expect it. I feel that is quite exciting, you know, and I really love and appreciate when that happened. And basically with the Exorcism of God, the main twist was the first idea that came to my mind, and also I developed it based on the Catholicism. I wanted to make this time like a more commercial horror movie, basically playing with conventions and trying to develop a bigger production value movie with more special effects, you know, also to learn, because I feel like as a filmmaker, the best way to learn and to develop bigger projects is by doing it by yourself. Like there is no other way. So I wanted to make a very funny film. I wanted to make a film full of horror and full of emotional impacts, twists, but also a story that explores dark and humans' dilemmas, you know. So that's the way I developed this story that basically talks about how can we expel God from our body when we fall in temptation and commit sin, and that's the main concept of the story.
At the same time, I mean, you deal with, like you said, it's a comedy. It's got a lot of comedy in there, but at the same time, it deals with very dark and very serious subjects. There's kind of a very cutting commentary in there, especially about religion. That must have been very, I mean, if I was writing a film like that, I would be very concerned about what certain, especially religious people, might think of the film, maybe. Was that one of your main concerns when you were writing, especially kind of the comedy side and this commentary that was obviously, I felt was inbred in the film and you wanted to portray?
Yeah, I mean, for a lot of people, these matters like religion are they are very sensitive for this type of movies and this type of concept. Even in Latin America, especially in Latin America, where the most of people is Catholic, I have received very aggressive message of people who felt offended, you know, and that was not my intention. Yeah, that was not my intention, and I also didn't develop the story to just trying to be polemic. You know, I just wanted to make the film that could make me feel excited if I watch it by myself of the movies. You know, as an artist, I just try to make the stories and the films that I will enjoy in the movie theater. And I, with the Exorcism of God, I made a film that I will be really excited to feel the horror and the entertainment, and also to reflect about important issues and important matters. And I feel the religion in this story is a metaphor to talk about humanity, you know, about the divorce that sometimes exists between the spirituality and religion, because the religion is ruled by men, and men sometimes can be corrupted, you know, like, and we were controlled by we had 10 centuries of a dark middle age, you know, like, and also I as a person, I was raised Catholic. I'm not Catholic anymore, but I follow a lot of principles that Jesus brought to humankind, like the message of love or forgiveness, that I feel is the most powerful manifestation of love. But also I can follow those principles, but I cannot follow a church that is not open to for a gay marriage, for example, at this time, like 2020. And that divorce between spirituality and religion, I wanted to talk about it because a lot of people just follow the leaders from the religion, like if they were the messiahs or if they are God. And not God is everything about love. It's everything about forgiveness. And I cannot see God when we're in a place where fuck, I forget
I kind of know what you mean. Kind of that they can't accept people for who they are, even though they're not, when they're not doing harm to anybody else. No.
Exactly. God is not in the place where discrimination exists.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, coupled to that as well, I don't know if this is true or not, but I read that, I mean, I don't want to give too much away, but in the film, there are kind of monstrous versions of religious characters, no, in the film, which I think you were quite concerned about as well. And I think, did you actually speak to religious people who work in religion just to make sure that that wasn't taking things too far?
Yeah, I did. I had several conversations with priests, especially with one in America, Los Angeles, where I used to live, and he told me it is fine. He's not Jesus. He is an image that the devil is using to break our faith. And I have passed through these kind of situations, you know, and basically that's the purpose of Batman, to break the faith of people, and that's why he's using like the worst fear of this character. What can be the worst fears of a character that is devoting his life to faith, to God? Just looking at his God, like converting his own demon, chasing him for his own sins, is something really disturbing and terrifying. And it's also an image that I wanted to use because this image, it was created by me when I was a child. You know, after watching very terrifying movies like The Omen of The Exorcist, I was praying, very scared to Jesus, but the Jesus I was praying was a man crucified, full of blood. So I was like, oh my God, what if this Jesus comes to me like a devil, like the devil? That would be really disturbing. I was scared to my bones. And I want to bring that image for horror fans to share the horror that made me feel so many traumas during my childhood with the horror fans and people who is willing to pass through this experience. Like if you are really Catholic and you cannot face this type of horror, don't watch the movie because it's going to be disturbing. But I don't feel I'm offending anyone. And I'm, for example, I never deny the power of God in the movie. I talk about love and I talk about the forgiveness of the most powerful manifestation of love, and I never denied God. So that is not Jesus, or that is not the Virgin. It's just images created by the devil to bring chaos, bring horror, and to break faith.
As well as recreating kind of Jesus and Mary, you also recreate, you pay homage to the original The Exorcist, no? Which that's risky because it could either go terribly wrong and people hate you for it, or it could go terribly right. I know I didn't see it in Sieges, but I know that when something goes right in Sieges, everyone cheers. And I understand that's what happened when you were in Sieges, no? That everyone went crazy and was like, wow, that's perfect. Especially when he's outside the light shines down, no, on top of him, which kind of recreates that poster, no? Were you concerned about that were you concerned about paying too much homage and people maybe kind of getting annoyed that it was ripping off The Exorcist too much? I didn't feel that, but I can imagine maybe there was the concern there, but while you were making it, no?
You know what? Like I just try to be myself when I make a story and I make art or I make movies, you know. And I am a huge fan of The Exorcist. The Exorcist was is a masterpiece, and is the movie that made me fall in love with the genre. So I wanted to make my dream come true of just making a homage to that movie. I don't care if you feel like I'm being so ambitious that my ambition is to create a new Exorcist and to surpass that masterpiece. I know my film is not going to surpass that masterpiece. That is basically impossible. I just wanted to share my excitement for a movie like that, you know. And if, I feel it's not a good way to watch a movie with prejudgment. I feel like You just have to go and let yourself to go through the journey, through the roller coaster. And if you see it in that way, you will get scared, you will have emotional impact, you will go in a story that brings original elements and twists to the genre. And you will enjoy the movie the same way the CGS people did. Like when they saw that image that paid homage to The Exorcist, they clap and they scream in excitement, you know. But
Yeah.
I have also read comments from people like, "Oh, come on, how do you dare to make homage? Who are you to tell me that? I'm making homage to the film I love, so shut up."
No. I just wondered it before you filmed it if you were concerned, because you know what, people can be very, if there's their favorite movie, they can be very kind of possessive about that film. Not possessive, maybe the best word to use now. But I think people don't realize quite how the comedy feels very self-aware at the same time. It doesn't take itself seriously. So these homages are there, but it's not saying I want to be the next Exorcist. No, definitely, yeah. So also, I want to talk a little bit about the cast. Was there any specific reason why you brought two priests from? Well, I think they both live in America now, but obviously the one of them is English, British, and the other one's American. Was there any specific reason why you wanted them to be in Mexico for this film?
Well, basically, shooting in Mexico will allow you to achieve an amazing production value that I will then be able to get it in America with the same budget. I mean, like some producers from Hollywood, they watched the film in Fantastic Fest and Screen Fest, and they thought I made the movie with 5 million to 7 million. I did it with 1.3 million. I had a very low budget. And I was very excited to make a film with a great production value, and I think we did it. And also by shooting in Mexico, you will have a very unique, special universe that it will be out of the cliche of all the movies we see. They are shot in America. It's something special and unique, you know. And I also made the story in English because I wanted to make an American movie, you know, like having I think it's very special to have an American character who fell in love with Mexico, especially in a moment where when I shot that movie, we had a president dividing Mexico from the United States by building a stupid wall. And why? Like people from Mexico, in Mexico and all of Latin America, we have crises, we have tragedies, but also we have amazing people with beautiful hearts and human warmth that is so special and so unique that this character fell in love with that. So I wanted to make a story by mixing cultures and having inclusion. That's why we have a Black character like Joseph Marcel, who is an amazing actor. He's an icon of comedy, from Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and also he has he has an amazing experience as a play theater actor. So yeah, we have characters from different places, and basically this story feels as much American as much Latin American. And I am very excited to achieve that, because in Latin America, the film is getting a huge success in the box office, and I am crossing fingers for the American audiences to enjoy the movie like an American film too.
Brilliant. I mean, we're running out of time, so just to finish off then, I know that your previous film was supposed to get an American remake. I think you were on board to produce and direct. No, is that something that's still going ahead? Because I know there was a South Korean remake, if I'm not wrong. No.
Yeah.
But is the American remake still going ahead, or is that something that's
yeah? I mean,
on ice at the moment.
I signed an option with New Line Cinema, and we were working for 3 years developing the movie. Unfortunately, we got trapped into the development hell that all the filmmakers know, and that was so sad. So I just wanted to move forward with the project by myself. I developed a new version of the screenplay from the beginning. That was really painful because I had to leave behind all the amazing ideas we put on the paper on that script developed in New Line. But also that challenge made me to work so hard that now I feel I have a masterpiece in my hands. I feel like the new story had all the amazing elements from the original story, but also it is way better. It is way more powerful, and I'm developing that story, and I'm crossing fingers that to shoot the story very soon, maybe this year or maybe starting next year. and I'm also developing other projects. And yeah, everything I learned on the Exorcism of God, I want to use it to make a film now with a huge production value, maybe by attaching a star and having the worldwide distribution that this story deserves, because it's really emotional. It has a mind-blowing twist that I never have seen in other horror movie, and I think I have to make this film as soon as possible.
Brilliant. Well, listen, thank you so much for your time, Alejandro. I wish you the best of luck with this film. I'm sure it's going to go down really well. And I hope to speak to you again sometime soon about this this project that you've got in your hands that you can't wait to get out there.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right. All the very best. Take care.